And welcome to episode 28 of the Player 3 podcast. I am one of your hosts. I'm not the only host. We're all hosts of the show.
I don't know about that.
I don't know how I feel about
I'm
that.
a host.
I feel like you're trying to shove an awful lot of responsibility on me.
Maybe.
Like, if this thing crashes and burns,
that is lingering.
it's
Yeah,
your
it's
podcast
It's a
that
weird
failed.
smell.
Yeah, what you did in this room is just horrendous. What do you have for lunch?
Hey, Diz.
I'm trying to remember.
Hey, Diz. Hey, Diz.
There were some pinto beans involved.
Oh, that explains it. All right, anyway, I am one of your hosts, Luke Croft, alongside me. We have the always visually stunning and always horrendously smelling Larry
Always?
Hunt. Just right now, it's kind
Smelly.
of
I smell
Mostly.
it's clouding the rest of my. I feel like it's pumped up through your clothing. And then on my other side, we have he can fix you a nice, delicious glass of Pepsi and steal your daughter's heart, ladies and gentlemen. Doug Martin.
Yeah, they call me the Burger King around these parts, cowboy.
Burger King. I love the bow tie with the crown. It's so good.
You look so formal. It's like you're the prom king.
Maybe I am. Or the,
Hey,
the dancing queen.
This was prom weekend.
It was prom weekend. And then over here next to Seth, we have Benjamin D. Hankins. The D stands for didn't crap in this room, unlike the always visually stunning Larry Hunt. A lot of crap jokes. I'll tell you in a second.
We're just okay.
I'm talking. Now I've lost all train of thought. Anyway, this has been a terrible start so far, but
Yes.
we don't start over anymore. But we are the Player 3 podcast. We get together every Monday to talk about video games. We push this out on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher every Tuesday. And then you can also find us here live at twitch.tv/player3podcast and youtube.com/player3podcast. And we love all of our viewers. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get this episode started like we get every week started.
Over.
Not over, even though we probably should, but with the releases of the week.
Releases of the week. Clap, clap.
I was expecting the Forrest Gump thing again this week, but it didn't
It
happen.
didn't happen.
Nope. You gotta keep it fresh and happening. I can't do
Keep
redo
it
something.
keep it good.
That week back to back.
All right, so releasing. We actually have nothing releasing on the Xbox One this week.
Huh.
Not just exclusively, but also like anything coming with the PS4. So these titles are all for the PlayStation 4. The first thing that we have is Assassin's Creed Chronicles China. Assassin's Creed Chronicles China takes place in China. 1526 says the Ming Dynasty.
Is that actually the first line of the description?
Yes.
I was under the impression it was going to be in Istanbul.
I was just blankly reading. I had that is funny.
Sorry.
In China, 1526, as the Ming Dynasty starts to crumble, you embody Xiao Jun, the last remaining assassin of the Chinese Brotherhood, returning to her homeland with a vendetta.
Oh,
That's ironic.
It's a lady.
Brotherhood returning to her homeland.
Is this the first female assassin, Seth?
No,
No,
it was
there
the
was one
second.
in
Assassin's Creed Liberation. For
yeah,
Vita.
yeah, for the
Was
Vita.
was an
Abilene.
African. It was an African woman, not an African American woman. She wasn't from America.
Mm.
She may not have been from Africa either. This is a 2D game, though, right? Or a 2.5D?
I think it's like a side scroller.
Yeah. So it looks pretty interesting. Then we have Infinity Runner. The Infinity is the largest spaceship ever built by mankind,
I'm coughing away from the
flung into the void of space to secure humanity a new home amongst the stars. However, instead of discovering paradise, the inhabitants of the Infinity unlock the door to a long-forgotten nightmare.
I just want to say this real quick. Halo 4, the UNSC Infinity, the largest ship built by man, accidentally released the Forerunner guy.
That looks exactly like the Infinity too.
It
doesn't
does.
So we've
And
got
kinda
that.
looks like the Angry Forerunner guy.
So if you're on
The
PS4 and you
Didact.
if you're on
Yes.
PS4 and you miss the Halo action, just download Helldivers and Infinity Runner, and you'll basically get the entire experience. So
You're right.
Dead on 100%.
then you have LA Cops. Listen up. You listening?
All right. I'm
No.
listening.
This city is being overrun by low life and filth. Not low life filth.
Low
Low life
and filth. Mother
and
worst
filth.
kind.
You need to be more dramatic. I
It's the
think.
worst.
Deeper voice. Sound like you've been smoking.
It's so bad.
It's time to toughen up, fight back.
Yeah.
Let's forget the
Yeah,
rules and
really
start.
country all of a sudden.
Let's forget the rules and start cleaning up these streets our way. There's a lot of bad guys out there, so I don't want you going in alone. Partner up and remember, in LA Cops, your buddies always got your back.
I wish you talked like that all the time.
I'll try.
That was hot.
I'm getting too old for this.
And then a game that I'm excited about, and I know you're excited about, we have Shovel Knight, which is going to be 3-way cross-buy on PS4, PS3, and PS Vita. Shovel Knight is a sweeping classic action-adventure game with awesome gameplay, memorable characters, and an 8-bit retro aesthetic created by Yacht Club Games. You play as the eponymous?
Eponymous?
Eponymous.
You play as the hippopotamus Shovel Knight, a small knight with a huge quest. Shovel Knight has come to this valley with two goals: to defeat the enemy Enchantress and save his lost beloved.
And he's
beat
all out
the
of
God
Lost
of
Beloved.
War.
He is. He
God
is
of War.
fighting Kratos in this picture, isn't he? Awesome. I think Shuhei Yoshida is also a playable character in this game. I will be picking this up to play it on my Vita.
Me as well.
No Laz wants to see Shovel Knight for
You don't
Smash
have a Vita,
Brothers.
do you?
Nah.
What's that?
No Laz
You need
says
to wear
Shovel
this
Knight
out.
for Smash Brothers.
And then we have you guys cool?
Yeah.
I just love what he's wearing. I love it.
And then we have Ziggurat, PS4, released on PS4 digitally. Dungeon crawling first person shooter at its finest. Fast paced combat, dozens of perks, spells, and enemies. Level ups, random dungeons, traps, bad bosses, carrots. Carrots? What? Ziggurat is one of the best combinations of first person shooter and roguelite you have ever seen. Awesome. So that's your releases of the week. And I'm pretty excited about Shovel Knight.
I'm pretty
I
pumped
think
about
it's
it.
going to be good.
I really contemplated buying it for my 3DS.
Well, why do that when you can buy it for your PS4, and then if you ever get a Vita, you can play it on your Vita?
Let's see.
We're going to try to talk you into buying a Vita
See,
today
it's
since
not gonna happen.
you're looking at spending money.
It's not gonna
Can I
happen.
interest you in a DS?
He's got a DS. We're going to try to sell a DS to Seth. All right, here we go. Nolaz says he wants a Shovel Knight for Smash Brothers. Hit that follow button, and we may be able to do you a favor. I'm just kidding. We can't,
lie.
but hit that follow button anyway. All right.
We like to pretend Phil Spencer listens to us, but
Yeah.
that won't help you anyway.
Yeah. Phil Spencer, make that Nintendo Smash Brothers so.
Phil Spencer's going to help this PS4 character get onto Nintendo's game.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah, Ben's volume needs to go up. That has literally never happened.
Nah, what? I've never
right.
had that problem.
Usually you're eating the mic. That's the difference.
All right. Was there something in the comments you wanted me to look at there, Diz? Oh, no, there isn't. Okay. Thanks for that follow, Hill S210. All right. I feel like we're all over the place. Let's all just take a deep podcast breath together and get back on track. And now we are moving on to the news.
News with the podcast guys. Sing it, Larry.
No,
All right.
On your birthday.
We don't have a ton of topics to talk about.
When's your
But
birthday?
what's that?
When's Ben's birthday?
June 5th.
June 2nd.
Oh, that's close.
June 2nd. June
All right.
5th's my sister's birthday. I always get it mixed up.
Yours
I'm
is
sorry.
March 2nd.
It is March 2nd. That's how I should be able to remember it. You're exactly 3 months younger than me. Same mother and everything.
Yep.
What? Ben was extremely premature. All right.
We're actually twins.
He was just extremely late. All right. So the two we'll cover the two big items first, and then we'll get to some of the smaller stuff. First, let's chat about Guitar Hero.
Guitar.
Now, I'm going to plug our YouTube channel, youtube.com/player3podcast. If you've ever wondered what our producer looks like, we're starting a new show on Thursdays called 3 Topic Thursday with Diz and Luke. And we talked a lot about Guitar Hero. But we also have some fans of the series here with us today, namely Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Huge Guitar Hero fan.
Very much
And
so.
Rock Band fan.
Very much so.
Which one are you more of a fan of?
Probably Rock Band, because they did the whole full band thing first. But I love Guitar Hero.
So, some new Guitar Hero stuff hit last week, a trailer, and it's coming out when? In
Fall, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's in the fall. And some changes
Like
coming
November.
along.
November.
Some changes are coming along down the pipeline with this. First of all, it is in a first-person view. So you're standing on stage, and as you're playing the song, you're looking at the crowd, you're looking at your guitar player, you're looking at your drummer, and if you're doing awesome, everyone's like, yeah, man, you're rocking. And then if you start being terrible, then there's this chick who made all the effort to get into the front row, who also made a lot of effort to make a sign that says, you suck. And we'll hold that sign up if you start sucking, and your guitar player's like, come on, man, you need to stop sucking it up. There's all these people here watching a cover band. We need to be better. Diz pointed that out in Thursday's episode. It's like there's like 10,000 people watching a cover band.
It's the lady in the front row who hates the band is not completely unrealistic. Taking Back Sunday was in West Virginia one time, and there was a dude up front wearing the T-shirt from Brand New. Mics are for singing, not for swinging.
Yeah. However, that was at a smaller venue, right?
That's true.
And so this is like at
It wasn't a 10,000 person cover band.
this is
concert.
like Coachella, all right? And they're like, we really want to hear you play Through the Fire and the Flames and suck at it, all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's the first big change. It's in a first-person view. The second big change is, and then I'm just gonna kind of go through the rundown of changes, and then I'm gonna let you guys react to it. So, then also, they're kind of trying to turn this into a platform. So the way that they're going to handle DLC is rather than adding more audience content, which they may do that, but one of the big things they're going to rely on is music videos, where they overlay the highway track over the music video and allow you to play while watching a music video, which seems kind of cool to me. And then the biggest change is they completely reformatted the controller. So rather than having your 5 colored buttons, you have 6 buttons, 2 rows of 3. Top row being black, bottom row being white, and you've got to hit the corresponding color and fret as it comes up. So making it a little bit more realistic to playing guitar. So those are your major changes. So with that, there's not going to be any backwards compatibility in DLC or in controllers. So let me get you guys a reaction to that. Ben, you're the Guitar Hero connoisseur sitting at this table right now. What are your thoughts?
I think when I first came and showed me the video first, and when I saw it, I knew already what it was because he had already prefaced showing the video to me by telling me what it was. But it, like, immediately I thought it was kind of dumb, like the whole live action thing. I mean, it's cool, I guess. I don't know if it belongs in a Guitar Hero game. It's not about being real. It's about feeling like you can play the guitar when you definitely can't play the guitar. So I think I don't know. I just think it's too much work for not enough payout. Like, I don't care enough about the live action thing for it to be that much work to put into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I kind of like the whole 6 button thing, the new controller layout. You don't?
I hate it.
Why's that?
I feel like it's going to ruin it. I feel like it's going to because there's so much stuff you can do now with Guitar Hero, not having to look at what you're doing. I mean, I feel like you'll get used to it eventually, but I just love the rolls and stuff, and you can't roll with 3 buttons over top of each other. Plus, it's an extra button that's never been in Guitar Hero. Instead of 5, there's 6 now. So,
yeah, I think it's a little more realistic to the guitar. Like I dabble in guitar.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I play a little bit, and so it's really going to kind of replicate to an extent, like producing chords and really being aware of where your fingers are rather than just down the neck, but also being aware of what string you're pressing, even though it's just a 2-string guitar. So I like that quite a bit. What are your thoughts, Seth?
I could go either way. I mean, I'm sure it'll be nice, and I'm sure it'll be very playable when it comes out. I'm sure it'll be just fine. It's just gonna take some getting used to because they've had 10 Guitar Hero games.
Yeah,
that I'm pretty sure all came out within like the span of 2 years.
Yeah,
that's not true.
Yeah,
it was like 6.
Well, the thing is like the genre started off. Guitar Hero started off, then Rock Band came along, kind of did the same thing but on a bigger scale. And then it just became a volume race of like who can release the most content.
Well, then it was like Guitar Hero trying to catch up to Rock Band, and like they released Guitar Hero World Tour, and they did like the
band specific Guitar Heroes and that sort of stuff,
which I thought started getting really dumb. Like, I think my favorite Guitar Hero is Guitar Hero 2, just because it was so like you had to be really good at doing it. Because that was it 2 that they brought the hammer-ons, or I can't remember.
I think so.
If 2's when they added the hammer-ons, or 3, Guitar Hero 3, 2 or 3. I'm asking you this. 2 is when they added hammer-ons. Yeah. So that's when it started getting like really good. The first one, you had to button mash everything, which got really annoying. But I don't know.
I really liked the battles of Guitar Hero 3.
Yeah, that was really cool.
And when they added the online capability, but It'll be fun, I think. I mean, it does like kind of said on the stream here. It seems like it's more rhythm guitar oriented, but I'm sure that once we all get our hands on it, it'll be just fine. You'll be able to go back and forth. I guess it'll be a good lead setup. We just probably can't understand with our tiny brains that we only use 10% of.
I think I'll science. I think I'll be just as ambivalent as I always was.
And what's ambivalent mean?
Uncaring.
Okay. My thing is like, and I'm gonna harp on it a little bit more because I can do that. I'm gonna open forum right now. The whole thing with like the realism within playing, like, if I want to like have a really realistic guitar experience, I'll go play guitar. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Rocksmith.
I don't want my game to be. I don't want them to focus so much on realism that they lose track of like playability. Like I want the cool thing about Guitar Hero was that like people came into Guitar Hero and they could play. What's wrong? Oh, people came into Guitar Hero and they could play. Pick up the guitar control pad and play a song and feel like they were awesome at guitar, even though they had no idea what they were doing on a real guitar. And I feel like the more realistic you try to turn towards the gamepad, which not saying this is anywhere near as real as a guitar, but the more realistic you make it, the more you're going to turn off those people who have no idea what a musical instrument does, what a real one can do, and lose that audience, which I feel like is a strong majority of the people that would play your game, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and well, in the grand scheme of things, it's one extra button. And I like the look of it. And when I say the look of it, I don't necessarily mean the first-person view, but the look of like the highway. It was just a mess of color and overwhelmingness when it was the old way, and now the kind of black and white, it looks really clean and sleek. I like that. But like, for all intents and purposes, it's one extra button that you're going to have to get used to. And like, it's a little bit different as far as finger position and all that, but it's an evolution. It's a step, because I think what Guitar Hero recognized is by the end of it, Rock Band was kind of the band game that people, the guitar game that people migrated to. And I think they just looked and saw, like, we can't directly compete with what Rock Band is going to do. So how can we differentiate ourselves in a way that separates us from Rock Band while not totally alienating the people who are fans of our franchise? Which is good. That's what we want competition to create. And the thing is I think Rock Band's going to deliver more on that kind of traditional experience that we're used to, of the 5 buttons and the colors and all that sort of stuff, and the creation of characters and all of that. Whereas Guitar Hero is trying to build more of a platform, which is what I think they're getting most right in this. Let's talk just for a second about the presentation of it, the first-person view with the concert. I personally don't like it at all. I think I don't understand how that's going to feel fresh when you've played it for a month and a half. You know, I'm one of those guys, when a Guitar Hero comes around, or a game like that, I really only play when other people are around. Like, I don't really play that game by myself, but I know you are, and I feel like seeing that same crowd over and over again, reacting in whatever ways they're reacting, it's going to get really old after a while.
Well, what it makes me think about is, like, if you ever seen the South Park episode when they play Guitar Hero, like that's what it's in. Like, you see the video of them playing, and they're playing in first person, and you see like all the people, the audience, like reacting to how they're playing, and then
I really hope that if you get a perfect score, it ends like that episode ends.
I know in Rock Band you could make your own character. Did Guitar Hero get to that point as well?
You could play as different people. I don't think you could ever make a character.
Okay,
that's my fault. I thought you could.
I don't think you could ever make one. I didn't play like the World Hits though and stuff. So I don't know if that was the Greatest Hits or the World Tour or whatever.
World Tour, when they introduced them.
I played World Tour, but they didn't have it in World Tour. You had to pick people.
But I agree that first person view would be way more boring, especially if there was a character creation component. Like, that's the thing I liked most about Rock Band.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is like, there is no control that you have over the camera. And, so you'll randomly like look over at your guitarist or look back at your drummer. Or one of the cool things, and I didn't realize this was a feature until I was listening to Podcast Unlocked this week, was the sound adjusts to where you're looking. So if I'm looking out at the crowd, it kind of has like a real balance. But if I'm looking back at my drummer, I hear the drums a little louder than I hear everything else. And if I'm looking at the lead singer, I'm hearing that over it. Like, it does a cool job of mixing it. But the fact that there's no camera control, I was hoping there would be a Kinect integration on Xbox One, where if like I look to the right, I look to the right of the stage, and if I look to the left, I'm looking, off stage or whatever. But they don't have any of that. And Diz brought up a good point when we talked about this Thursday. Like, if they do have a battle mode, which isn't confirmed, how's that going to work? Are you both going to see it from the first-person perspective in a split screen? Is it going to be you play a part, then your partner plays a part, and then you kind of see how that goes? I don't know how any of that's going to work. But I would imagine that they would have to add in some sort of competitive mode, because Rock Band didn't have that. The competitive mode
they still don't, do they?
Yeah. The competitive mode in Rock Band was you play through a song, see how good you can do, write down that score, and then pass it along to someone else to see if they can beat it.
Because we tried to play, me and Diz tried to play competitive the last time we played Rock Band, his house, and there's no way to do it. So, yeah, that's their one driving thing, especially the battles thing that they had for Guitar Hero 3, where you could like pick up power ups. It was kind of like Mario Kart, where you could I say kind of because you go through the thing and it gives you a green shell or something, but this would like break the person's whammy bar, or like break one of their strings, where they had to like hit the button really quick to fix the string, or
which is not how a guitar works at all.
No, but back to my point, that's like, I mean, it was fun. It wasn't really just to be
Yeah.
So
now, the other thing that's going to differentiate Guitar Hero Live from other Guitar Heroes is the integration of music videos, where rather than just implementing a new highway to correspond to a song, they are going to also implement new videos. So you will actually play over top of the produced video that the band makes. What do you think about that?
I mean, I feel like it'd be cool. I don't know how you feel about like distractions. I'm really ADD, so I feel like the music video playing underneath my overlay of notes, I'm gonna want to watch the music video, and I'm gonna miss a bunch of notes. Like, I'm just gonna let the music video run and be checking out what's happening in that. And like, do you feel like you have an easy time not getting distracted by that?
If it was The Darkness's seminal music video, I believe in a thing called Love.
Oh yeah, that'd be real distracting.
I might be real distracted.
Because there's some music videos that are really awesome, and like you just want to watch the music video.
I know.
I hope it's like Green Day's "Wake Me Up When September Ends," and so like there are like 8 times while you're playing the song, you just have to stop playing and watch a dumb story about a soldier or something.
Gosh,
yeah. When it's in like they're talking, actually, there's no music at all,
Yeah.
or like playing very faintly in the background.
I hate Green Day.
Like, and the drummer just has to hit sound effects like when they're walking across the floor and like slamming doors and stuff.
I hate Green Day.
Me too.
Or that
So
Hoobastank
much.
video where they're robbing that pawn shop, which for years I thought was a porn shop that they were robbing.
And the reason is
Yeah, but the reason where they're stealing that gem.
who Bastank?
Well, the thing about it is, I kind of think of it the opposite way of like, I would totally not watch the video because I get so distracted by, the highway of buttons and playing on that.
Why don't they just come up with a pop-up video game?
Explain. How would you want that?
Yeah,
to work?
Well, I don't know. I have no idea how it would work. But if you want to,
where you watch the video, random trivia comes up and it's multiple choice and you have to answer it
that
quickly.
could work. Yeah,
They have that.
Yeah.
They have that. It's
Did
called
you know?
Seen It.
Did you know that pop-up
Oh,
video
yeah.
is what spawned the Rickroll?
No.
Because in the pop-up video it says Rick rolled up his sleeves, and someone turned that into a YTMND, and that's how the Rickroll got started.
I don't even know what that
What is a
means.
YTMND?
You're the man now, dog.
What?
I'll show you later.
I'm still no clearer on what that means.
Before
Before
you like,
so much knowledge.
it was kind of taken off at the same time as YouTube, maybe a little before, but it was like a short GIF with sound looping over and over again.
Oh, okay.
And so the first one was Sean Connery going, "You're the man now, dog," over and over and over again.
They should do the what's that song that they do the
The Darkness is a seminal classic, I believe, in a thing called.
it's I can't even think of what his name
Stop
is.
saying
now.
the word seminal.
Not unusual to be loved by anyone. That's cover, so we won't get in trouble
I love
for
that song.
They should do that. They should rickroll people with that. That'd be a really awesome. I guess it wouldn't be technically Rick rolled because it's not a Rick rolled song, but Rick Ashley.
Astley.
Rick Ashley, and what is it that you call? I don't even remember his real
Rick
name.
Grimes.
Ron Streeter.
Yeah, Ron Streeter. That's what he calls Don Henley.
What?
Is it Neil Diamond?
Is it Neil Diamond? I thought it was Tom Jones.
Yeah, it is Tom Jones.
It's
Yeah.
not Neil
I-
Diamond's got
I
kind of
prefer
a thing
his,
like this going on with his voice now.
Oh yeah, Tom Jones. Milky got it. He got
For
it.
his song, "Just Help Yourself to My Lips, to My Lips. Just say the word and they're yours."
Look
Larry
at
actually
Larry
sings the
singing
song.
on the podcast.
I love
guys.
it. I love it.
I'll sing some Tom Jones.
He's breaking all the rules. Where the heck are we?
Can I? Well, I want
We're
to
talking
speak.
about Guitar
This
Hero.
just popped in my head, and I think it's why I'm so against the
I
button.
hope this has nothing to do with anything.
It has
It's
something
like
to do with
this
Guitar
just
Hero.
popped into my head.
You
but
remember in Halo 2?
It has something to do with Guitar Hero, and I think it's why I'm so against the button misplacement.
pepperoni makes me puke.
I'm a drummer,
Right?
and when I play the drums, I set my drum set up in a very particular way, and if it's not set up in the same way that it was set up, it like kind of like if you ever seen the movie Step Brothers, when he's like doing his like measurement for the cymbals, and they have to be set up at least close to
And then he
right.
puts his balls on the drums.
Right? Yeah, he does do that.
Testicles.
Well, there goes
Testicles.
our clean tag.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't have a clean tag. How many times do I have to explain this?
I like to pretend we still have.
We're
a
still
clean
family
tag.
friendly though. We still be friends.
We're family friendly. So
But I have to have my drum set up in a pretty like close to the same way every time I do it. So, and if I don't, I play a lot worse because I play by kind of muscle memory, and I don't have a lot of like, you know what I'm saying? Like I have to go in the same area that it was. If my cymbal's a little further away, I have to reach further, so I may not hit it as cleanly as I would normally. So, with this whole button changing thing, it just really freaks me out to think that it's going to be different.
Right, there's a learning curve, and it's not so much that you're a drummer and you need everything to be in its place. It's that you're an old man and you want to keep paying
Correct.
19 cents for coffee.
Correct.
And you are so terrified. of change.
I'm not terrified of change. Well, yeah, I am.
You're like, back in my day, every school district had 2 schools.
I've been paying 49 cents for this coffee for
Who is Bobby
30
Darwin?
years.
You've been
Bobby Darin, he does here's a little song I wrote.
Bobby Darwin. He's had the
Darin.
theory of strongest people survive or whatever it's called.
Oh my god.
Welcome to Science 3 Podcast.
I'm the Pseudoscience 3 podcast.
Hey, that still works. P3P.
Yeah, I know.
Guitar Hero.
Sorry. We're not on topic today.
Speaking
It's
of
kind of
Guitar
cool
Hero.
that the Wii U is going to get a.
I was about to
copy.
say
Oh,
that.
okay, sorry. I didn't
you're
mean to
good.
steal
You're
your
good.
thunder.
You just stepped all over my funk. It's okay.
I'm trying to make you not the only host
Stepped
here.
all over your what?
Funk.
Okay.
We
Funk.
want the funk.
All right. Speaking of Guitar Hero, Wii U is getting a the Guitar Hero live game, which is pretty
Oh.
cool. Wii U doesn't really get much of anything cross-platform, so it's
No.
really cool
And
that they're
it
developing.
doesn't super surprise me because the Wii got Guitar Hero. So
Right,
the Wii
yeah.
had a Guitar Hero, which is it's strange to me. Are they going to make it where because when they made the Wii one, this is maybe wild speculation. When they made the Wii controller, you had a port for the Wii Wiimote to go into it. Are they going to make it for like the Wii U panel thing to stick in there?
the whole game.
yeah. And it's like touchscreen, so you can actually like pick it with a real pick.
That sounds like a horrible idea to do to your screen.
It'd be really cool. Though.
But you can only use like titanium picks that
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
razor sharp.
With
Super
needles
metal.
on the end of them.
By the way,
Super
Bobby
metal.
Darin didn't write that song that I said that he sang. just so you know.
I'm about to quit.
We're no strangers
Hey,
to love.
while we derailed, can we just acknowledge that Stray Light Run tweeted at us last
Straight
week?
Light Run did tweet at us. It was
Really?
pretty
The real
awesome.
Straight Light Run?
Yeah,
the real Stray Light.
Like, I'm done with this podcast. It'll never get better.
What did they say?
I tweeted that we made that reference to Neuromancer,
Yeah,
and
which I finished last week.
so they tweeted in regards to that.
They said they were going to check it out to hear our discussion about some old man who died and wrote that book
but we never
before he died.
I don't
And
think he's
I
dead.
think he's still alive, actually.
he's been dead for centuries.
He's been dead for ages.
Seriously,
and
if you're like 98, what kind of quality of life do you?
we
really
should
have?
probably have a discussion.
At some point, if you're alive, you're technically dead. There's no really quality of life there.
Welcome to Euthanasia 3 Podcast.
Euthanasia. All right, so Guitar Hero is not going to have any backwards compatibility either, so that's pretty interesting.
But I also heard this, thanks to Podcast Unlocked. Don't go selling your Guitar Hero peripherals quite yet because Rock Band may support them.
Well, they support. I know that we can play. We use the Guitar Hero World Tour drums on Rock Band 3, and it actually worked. So, yeah, so that'd be cool to hang on to.
All right, that all we got for Guitar Hero. One of the
Please
things
move
I
on.
did want to say this. I'm sorry, and then we'll move on.
Let's have one thing to say.
Just have one thing to say.
I may want to comment on it. So
The fact that they are building this as a platform and not something that's going to get like an annual or biannual release is a brilliant idea. The fact that they're not going to have to pour a bunch of development cost into like revamping this game every, pretty regularly, whatever, and just using the music videos to continue to build the library for it. Brilliant idea from Guitar Hero.
I like that. I hope Rock Band follows suit.
I hope not. I want two different things on the. I mean, if they want to build a platform, that's fine. Like and
That's what I'm saying.
have a library of DLC, but don't do the music video thing. I doubt they will be able to do the music video thing, but kind of gives us some separation to where, if you were a fan of this genre, you don't really have to choose because you can have both and feel like you're getting two different things. So
Because I care less about the music videos. I would like to see Rock Band make it a platform, like where you can add things to it. And all the hate that I'm giving Guitar Hero, I love that they're putting some innovation into it. They're not just packaging the same old song and dance. It's another 70s reference song. Same old song and
It's
dance.
Aerosmith.
Yeah, Aerosmith. But it's I just like the fact that they're, even though this is an old company, and they've had a lot of releases. I don't know what you're doing in the.
trying to be Steven Tyler. I just caught a glimpse of him.
Even though they have like some people would say they're played out. Like, I love that they're putting innovation into it, even if I may not like the innovation.
Yeah, I mean, companies taking risks. That's what we want to see. We don't want to get the same game with a different
Right.
skin all the time.
So keep doing what you're doing, Guitar Hero.
Speaking of a game that we feared might just get a reskin into something, but it looks like it's not. It looks like it's going to be epic. We got a lot of.
We just spent 23 minutes on Guitar Hero.
I told you it's going to be
great.
It's a big game. We spent 10 minutes on Guitar Hero and 13 minutes on all the other crap that we brought up.
Steven Tyler.
What?
His old Greg accent is more British than his British accent. Give us
Yeah.
your old Greg accent.
I'm old Greg. I'm a scaly manfish.
See, it's working.
It's more
But-
Scottish than anything.
Whatever.
So I can do Scotland.
it's still-
I'm old, Greg.
It's still over there on that side of it.
I'm old Greg. I got the shillelagh. I'm gonna give you a shellacking with my shillelagh.
What is he talking about?
Shillelagh, it's a
So
small nub
speaking of
staff.
games that we're concerned about might do some stuff if I was paying attention.
Battlefront. Star Wars Battlefront got its first gameplay trailer.
Mother of God.
And it looks majestic.
Larry,
Majestic.
I'm going to hand this to Larry because Larry didn't get to talk a lot about Guitar
Right.
Hero.
Majestic.
And he is our Star Wars connoisseur here. So, Larry, talk to me, baby.
Just
Just in general.
Just
You
in
Well,
general.
let's react to the trailer.
the first thing I thought was, this is from the gameplay engine. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous. It was
And here-
lovely.
And here's the thing: is everyone was like, take this for at a grain of salt because it's probably on some high-end PC.
We're just having a good time over this cover right here.
They were like, take these graphics with a grain of salt. It's probably rendered on some high-end PC that it won't even touch. But it was actually rendered through the PS4's engine. And so this is like next-gen console graphics that we're seeing here, hopefully. Not to get the hype train going too much. I feel like they probably upscale this stuff to an extent. I don't know what the leeway is on saying it's actual gameplay.
And really, I've told you this before. Graphics aren't really the end-all be-all to me. I was impressed with them, but what I was most impressed with out of all of this was the 40-player multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
That's really attractive to me. And I get that it's a different kind of gameplay than these kinds of games usually are, but I'm real excited to just have that many people crammed onto a battlefield trying to kill each other. Sounds great.
And if there's anything that DICE does well, it is epic, giant multiplayer stuff. So
With giant, awesome multiplayer graphics.
yes.
Yes.
Giant, awesome multiplayer vehicles.
I didn't think that this trailer looked too far off from like Battlefield 4.
Yeah.
Like, it looks better definitely, but I'm saying like I can see these trailer graphics being the graphics of the game. I think it'll look that great.
With this game having the label Star Wars, it seriously could be like a couple notches below some games that we talk about how great they are and still get a really good review. Like, this could be somewhat poop and we'd still talk about the good stuff about it because it's Star Wars. And I'm really excited to play in that arena. I mean, it couldn't be like terrible. Yeah, I mean, I'll retract that.
Kind of like I said before, I'll be totally happy if they just kind of take DICE's Battlefield and basically put a Star Wars skin on it with speeders and stuff like that, and some some tweaks on gameplay, of course. But I'm really looking forward to it. This is going to be one of my games of the year.
And you are going to have access to all these different vehicles. That's exciting to me.
Dogfights.
That'll be glorious.
Like in the trailer, they call in a group of Y-wings to come in, do a little bomb run, and you're going to be able to drive the Millennium Falcon, right?
Yep.
Or is that just in the story?
No, there
is no story.
There is no story.
No,
There's no campaign. There are missions that you can co-op, and you can also co-op split screen.
Okay.
We'll talk about that more in a minute.
Couch co-op. I bet you're excited about that.
I am. And this is,
We'll talk about
to
that
be
now.
honest, I've actually not played the other Battlefronts a whole lot. I played them some, and I enjoyed them, but I never owned one, actually. But someone who is crazy about this game is my wife. And so I'm really pumped that it's going to be couch co-op.
Do you remember anything with the old? I don't know if this is a thing. I feel like I remember it, but I don't. It may not be. So I'll refer to you. In the old Battlefronts, where you could get to a certain point in battle where you could call in like a Jedi or call in like a special force trooper or whatever.
Yeah, that happened. In this one, though, you'll actually, if you do well enough, you'll get to play as some of the big name characters. Boba Fett,
like
or
when Darth Vader came in at the
Yeah.
end with like the shoots the lightsaber out and starts breathing real heavy.
I can't wait to just walk through just choking people. It's in any Star Wars game where force choke is an option. That's like my favorite thing in the world. In Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy 2, all I did was like grab everybody and fling them off of ledges by their throats. It was my favorite.
So
Force Unleashed.
I don't know if they've announced exactly how those kind of characters, Darth Vader, Boba Fett, those things are going to work. From what I read, it said it would reward sharpshooters. So does that mean it may work like a kill streak reward or something like that?
That's how I took it.
Battlefield's
not.
never really had a kill streak system, have they?
I hope it's not strictly that. If that's the case, they haven't. They've had like drops, don't they? Don't they do drops if you have a certain number of?
I don't think they even do that.
They have mixing Call of Duty up with it.
So it'll be interesting to see how they implement kind of a kill streak system. So let's talk for a second about the fact that there is no story, there is no campaign, there is no like linear campaign. There are side missions. There are like co-op missions you can play that increase in difficulty or are going to add some replay value to it. How necessary was it for you guys for this game to have a campaign? Are you disappointed by the fact that it doesn't, or what are your feelings on that?
To be honest, I am. I was kind of looking for something to kind of bridge the gap, like these comics are doing, about like between episode 6 and episode 7. Now I'll still get on the hype train either way, regardless. Like I'm already on right now because that movie's coming out in December. It's happening. The game comes out in November, and I'm gonna be playing it every day until that movie comes out and I see it 6 times in theaters.
You go ahead. No, you go ahead.
All right.
Because I've been starting a lot of conversations, so you go ahead.
I don't care that it doesn't have a campaign. I wasn't interested in a campaign at all with this game, but I foresee that it will probably get a lot of flack for that because a lot of people were disappointed that Titanfall didn't have a campaign. The side missions may make up for that a little bit, but with the scope of the worlds and stuff that they're hitting and putting Darth Vader in it and such, and because they're also going to have a map that takes place in a battle after Vader's death, that gives you kind of a preview into one of the planets that's going to happen in the movie. It seems like it would be hard to have any kind of cohesive story running through that broad range of what's going on. So I don't care about the story.
And I don't think I so much care about the story either. It's labeled as a Battlefront game, so as long as I can have big, epic, like Star Wars style battles, that's one thing that's not like crazy covered in the movies. So it's cool to experience that within, kind of forge your. I mean, there are battles that are covered in the movies, but it's not like a huge in-depth thing. It's more the one-on-one fights between the Jedi and stuff, and it's cool to be in that. And not be like the coolest, like the biggest thing on the battlefield. Just be one of the other people that's there. One saying that though, I would love it, and I'm shooting the gun here because we're just talking about Battlefront. But I would love to see the episodic games remade for the hardware we have now. Like have games where you could play as in a story as Anakin and Luke and like. Because did they ever do episodic games for the last 3?
Yeah. Like you're talking like just like playing through the stories.
I remember vividly the one for 3 on the original Xbox.
I know they did it. I'm sorry, the first 3. Excuse me, then 4, 5, 6.
3.
Oh yeah, Super Return of the Jedi is one of my favorite Super Nintendo games. You get to go through like the whole movie. You get to play as Wicket for a while.
Oh, okay.
It's real fun.
Am I the only one that would like to see that? When I think about the story of this, I think about playing through the movie. Like that's what I wanted.
I like the idea, but like when you said earlier that just because it has the title Star Wars, we're gonna love it. Like those games are what come to mind and make me shake my head.
Yeah.
I was disappointed with all of the like games that followed the movie story.
Anytime I think about episodic games, I think about like the Spider-Man games and like superhero games that come out with every movie, and they always end up just sucking eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they kind of take a backseat to the movie. Like, there's no way of really replicating the movie experience of anything in a video game. I'm trying to think of any game that kind of went along with a movie that was
I
really
loved
successful.
Episode 3. I loved Episode 3. I loved it.
Minority Report on the Nintendo GameCube is my favorite like movie-based game of all time.
GoldenEye.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's one. Let me ask you this question, then we have a viewer question about this. Do you think one of the reasons they didn't include a campaign is because they really didn't want to have to kind of pinpoint a time that they wanted to cover? Because, there's such a broad range of places to pick from in that story.
And that's why I think it's cool that they're doing this because, they're not just exclusively bridging a gap between films. It looks like you're going to be on a Hoth. Because they're driving around the snow speeders and the AT-ATs and whatnot. Looks like they're going to be on Endor from the trailer. Or on the forest moon of Endor.
Oh, I can tell you where we're going to be. That's in this article.
Okay. Well, talk to me.
You can be an Endor, Hoth, Tatooine, and Sullust.
Sweet.
Am I saying those things right?
Yes.
Do you get blown up on Tatooine?
Actually, I'm not positive on Solist.
Well, that's the interesting part. It's described as a lava-spewing planet referenced in 1983's Return of the Jedi, as well as many Star Wars games and novels, but you've rarely ever seen it. So I think that's pretty interesting. So they're going to take this thing that's only been really described and flesh it out into an actual world.
Where do they go to make their lightsabers? It's not Solace, is it?
They can just make them.
You can get different kind of crystals from all kinds of different kind of worlds.
I thought it was like a place that they went to get the crystals.
There are some places where they get specific crystals, but some places are more popular than others. But there's not like only one place where you can find them.
I was mistaken then. Excuse me.
So the viewer question is this. Do you like playing as, what do you guys prefer? This is from the Fez 115. What do you guys prefer, Jedis and Siths or clones and stormtroopers? He himself loves clones and stormtroopers.
Jedis and Siths.
I mean,
man.
I like to be able to do both. I mean, there's a lot of validity to being able to go and just shoot a blaster, Han Solo style until you drop. Just be a foot soldier.
Though, if you could block all those blaster bullets with the lightsaber.
I remember one of my favorite Star Wars games ever was that arcade game.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys ever played it. It had the one joystick with like a couple of buttons on it, and you went through each of the original movies, and like sometimes you'll be using that joystick and you'll be driving a speeder through the forest of Endor. And blasting stormtroopers off. Sometimes you would be Boba Fett or something, and you'd be shooting your blaster. And sometimes you'd be a Jedi, and you'd be kind of like blocking Boba Fett's lasers with your lightsaber, slashing at him, stuff like that. It kind of covered all the bases really well. I wish they had that game. I don't even know how to find it.
I don't know that you could.
I don't know that would make it for. I mean, let's just use your joystick on your controller.
Well, not necessarily for a console, but I would even probably spend my savings on an actual machine.
Cabinet.
Yeah, I loved that game.
Nothing can beat though. I mean, the extensive training and stuff that Jedis and Siths go through to be as awesome as they are, like hands down. Them over. I mean, not to crap on your opinion, the Fez, but
just crap all over it, man.
Seriously, I stormtroopers and clone troopers. I don't know. That was one of the games that they did that in one of the Battlefronts, wasn't it?
What?
Wasn't it Clone Troopers versus Stormtroopers in one of the games?
Clone troopers are stormtroopers.
Well, Stormtroopers are the people that aren't the clones. Aren't they separate? They had clone troopers, and then they had
I don't know.
individual people that weren't clones.
I may be wrong on this, but I don't know if there's a canonical answer to that. Like, I think there's a lot of speculation that the reason clones are less, or the stormtroopers are less accurate in the newer ones is because they aren't the clones anymore. But I don't know for a fact.
Huh. Maybe I'm wrong then. I may be completely wrong.
This is interesting. This is from the Big Story AP. Battlefront will also include a free downloadable level available 2 weeks before Star Wars The Force Awakens opens in theaters December 18th. It's set on Jakku.
I would assume Jakku.
All right, Jakku, the battle-scarred desert planet glimpsed in Force Awakens teasers. The expansion, dubbed Battle of Jakku, will explore the moment following Return of the Jedi when the New Republic confronts Imperial holdouts on the previously unseen Outer Rim Enclave. Quote, you never get to see it in the movie, so it was this brilliant opportunity to recreate the Battle of Jakku, which you only see the remnants of in the movie, end quote, said Bach. Begin quote again. In the game, you actually get to play the Battle of Jakku. It's the same place from the new movie, but 30 years earlier, end quote. So they got to like look at the destruction you see in the movies and then recreate that city from that destruction just for the game, and I think that's
I'm guessing
really
that's
cool.
where in the trailer they released last week, where you kind of pan through the desert. I was assuming it was Tatooine, but I guess not.
There's an Imperial
And
Star.
you see the Star Destroyer crash in there, and like apparently they're having a dogfight where one ship's chasing another through the remains of this Star Destroyer, and it looks totally awesome.
All right, talk to me, Seth, about
Talk
the
to me.
pre-order bonus.
Yeah, that was one of the things I think was there were 2 maps from Jakku. There was something about I don't remember if this was system exclusive or not, but 7-day early access with your pre-order to the game, and there were 1 or 2 other things, but it was just really tempting to me on this whole no pre-order thing we're doing for 2015. There have been a few really great offers this year.
I almost want to say if it's that much content and that much opportunity, just do it. On the one hand, I want to say that, but on the other hand, it's like this is DICE.
That's true. It could fail.
And DICE has a tendency. I don't think they can mess this up. Like they can.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
can.
think. I don't think DICE will exist if they mess this up, though. Like if they screw this up, that is catastrophic. It is interesting to me, though. EA generally has a very good partnership with Microsoft, but PlayStation 4 is getting the marketing exclusivity for this game. So you get the PS4 branding before and after all the clips for it. I don't know how much of a difference that makes to people who already own the console, but we've talked a lot about how marketing exclusivity for people who aren't really attached to the world, it kind of communicates it's like a pseudo exclusivity where people don't really understand to look into it, and they're like, well, it's got PS4 before and after, so it's only PS4. In fact, we had somebody in the chat, I'm not sure, they were like, when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh crap, is this just PC and PS4?
Oh,
And
man,
then
I'd be
had to
so
dig.
mad.
Oh gosh.
I'd be flipping all the tables.
So okay, what is the one thing you were most excited about with Star Wars Battlefront coming later this year? It's November 17th, right?
Yeah, 17th.
Okay.
I went back and looked it up after we
Awesome.
were trying to figure it out.
Did they push the movie back to Christmas?
It's December 18th.
Okay, the trailer
They
says
said Christmas, but I think I've seen that before in different movies. They just kind of say Christmas to elaborate the Christmas season.
Okay.
Just be looking out for it around December.
So what is it that you were most excited about? Let's just go around the table, Ben.
The dogfights.
I can't choose. I'm just really excited to see everything this game has to offer.
I'm excited about watching the movies to lead up to this game because I've never seen the movie. So that's why I've been kind of quiet this conversation because I don't know a ton about it. But I'm using this game as an opportunity for me
What
to
you
borrow
need to
your
do,
Blu-rays.
I'll bring my VHS over and we can watch the original movies before they remastered them.
You have the unremastered. That's nice.
Yeah.
Dude, this told me this doesn't exist, but mine. Oh wait, never mind.
Just tell me
He's
this doesn't
right, he's
exist,
right.
but it's steak that is flavored like pudding.
I am pretty sure that I've got 2 disc DVD sets that are. One is the original theatrical cut.
Well, if it's the DVD, George Lucas actually there was so much demand for them because he was trying to not make those early copies available because they weren't his true grand vision for them in order to make them more child friendly.
Yeah.
But they kind of made it more like the original films, but not nearly as much as they were like when Han fired first. Yeah, that exactly. Luke has no idea what we're talking about.
I mean, I know that is a thing. I know that Han Solo is a man and he has a gun.
With Chewie.
And there's some speculation as to who shot first.
I haven't gone back and watched those original VHSs in years, but it's right before they came out with like the gold little VHS box with the remastered movies. You know what I'm talking about, Larry?
No.
No?
Was it made out of real gold?
I was very poor and didn't own any movies.
Well, I've
That's
got
okay.
all the Blu-rays.
Well, that's an
It's
inferior
remastered.
mode to VHS, I believe.
Yeah, who chooses Blu-ray over VHS?
Who has these
unremastered.
who has these on Laserdisc?
They're the original theatrical versions on Blu-ray, unremastered.
Ben.
Both options.
Oh.
You can have the.
Oh,
No.
really?
No, that's what.
No, I'm lying. You can't get those on the real new age technology. They don't make them anymore.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Did you mention what you were most excited about? I forget.
No, I was about to
Okay,
cut
go
in
ahead.
with it. Actually, I did mention it, but not after you asked the question. I'm excited for just the massive 20-on-20 fights. That is exciting to me.
I am excited about playing as Darth Vader. I'll say that. That's going to be fun.
And just force choking people, like force lightning them, and like the saber boomerang. And
Vader can't do the Force lightning, can he?
yeah, Vader can force lightning.
I don't think he can because of his robotic
Epilepsy.
limbs.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that. And it's true, he never does it in the movie.
You don't want to be a robot with electrical
oops.
shortages.
Almost did something really bad.
I really don't care what gets spoiled on this. It's my fault I haven't seen them. So.
This is big. This is a big spoiler. You
That,
don't
oh,
want to-
that Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's
No.
father.
Crap. Who told you?
No, this is a different one, but this is still very, very much big.
All right, let's just shut up and move on.
All right. I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on the box art for this game, too. So I'm just going to...
Me and Seth
Let-
were.
It just kind of encapsulates the game to me, I think, or what it's going to be. Like you've got a lot of open space centered around this AT-AT,
I sure hope it doesn't.
and then you've got your foot soldier standing on top of a snowspeeder that's crashed.
I thought it was
It's-
an A-wing.
Looks like A-wing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is an A-wing. I call them
Yeah,
snowspeeders.
yeah, you dummy.
I call them snowspeeders.
I hope
Oh,
it doesn't encapsulate this because I don't want to go 1v6 on 6
Well,
AT-ATs.
not in that way, but like I'm just thinking in terms of this open space. You've got sky, you've got land, you've got all kinds of vehicles, and you've got people running around.
And you got the T for teen rating and the EA rating thing and the dice thing at the bottom and then the Star Wars Battlefront
Yes,
in the
thank
middle.
you, Ben. this is almost like the time that Destiny expansion came out. You were like, we've
It
got
was
a
like
new...
45 minutes. of
We've got a
talking
new
about-
pulse rifle with an impact of 45.
It's
and it
colored
holds
yellow
a
and-
3. Destiny is spelled D.
I was very thorough within that.
I am unimpressed by this cover, actually. There's something about it's not the thing as a whole, but there's something about it that I can't quite put my finger on that I'm like, I don't really like it. Maybe it's the font. Maybe it's like the way that the font's resting on the photo.
You guys see the Star Destroyer in the background?
Yeah.
I actually hadn't noticed that.
Hmm.
There's
I don't
also
know.
a lot of lint on my screen.
I
remember when
rarely
the
care
Force-
about the cover art.
You remember in the first Force Unleashed when you got to bring that Star Destroyer down with just the sheer power of
Yes.
the Force?
Yeah.
Holy
That was the moment when I looked at my friend Davo and I was like, this game is really starting to get good. And he said, yeah, this is the last level.
Right.
Oh, okay.
The second one's not as bad though.
I never played the second one.
I really
Dang.
want those games.
I'm gonna go back and buy a 360 again.
Gosh, there's something about playing through.
Can I interest you in a 360?
There's something about playing through the campaign of movies that makes me just, I don't know, just gets me. Just makes me feel good.
Makes me feel good, Ma.
I'm a David Tennant.
I'm a David Tennant.
All right, so those are our two big items. How far are we into this show?
Like
We
4
are
hours.
Now 53 minutes.
It's all right. Last week we had a short show, so we can have a long show this week. Next item on the list. As of April 5th, Blodborne has sold 1 million copies worldwide. First of all, I'm so mad at Blodborne because I suck at video games and I'm stuck. I'm waiting for this update that's going to be coming out, which is the other item on the list about Blodborne, that there's going to be an update coming out that's going to hopefully fix the load times and one of the things that makes the game, your save file corrupt. But anyway, so 1 million copies. This is, I want to get you guys' perspective on this because Phil Spencer tweeted out a congratulations tweet because Phil Spencer is just
The man.
winning the CEO wars and about how hard it is for a new IP to launch and to sell this well. And this is not shipped. This is sold through. So 1 million copies as of April 5th. Bloodborne is technically considered a new IP, but would you consider it a new IP? This was a big discussion on Reddit this week. So
because it's so similar
because
to
it
Dark
is,
Souls.
yeah, and made by the same people. So what would you guys' thoughts on that be?
It looks a lot different. Like it plays a lot different than Dark Souls, though. I mean, it's hard like that, but
Yeah, well, push
From
comes
what
to
I watched
shove,
you
it is a new game.
Well, yeah.
It's a new franchise. It's a spiritual successor to the Soul series, but call a spade a spade. It's a different game.
Yeah. That was my thought on it. Well, go ahead, Lee.
I'm still thinking.
Okay. It's a little hard to give it a congratulations as if this is some Titanfall from Respawn Games, very first game they've ever produced, selling outrageous amounts. I think it's hard to give it that kind of praise and consider it in that same field as a new IP. It's definitely a new IP. It's brand new characters, brand new lore, brand new storyline, brand new everything, really, in terms of the skin that is placed on it. But at its core, this is a From Software Dark Souls game that plays just a little bit higher pace. And so it has a reputation that precedes it to an extent, and most of its success came on the coattails of the success of the Soul series. Yeah. And that's not to deny its status as a new IP, but it's to say that we can't consider this in the same way as we consider a game like Titanfall. Like, Destiny was a new IP as well.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's almost like congratulating them on the unexpected success of their new IP.
Yeah.
Well, we knew it was going to do well.
Right. And Bloodborne, I think, has been more successful. And I'll make sure that this is true when somebody gets a talking point where I have time to research it. But I think Bloodborne has sold better than any other game from Software. That's always really awkward to say. And so in that, it deserves its congratulations. It outsold. I don't know what the stats are on Destiny. If it outsold any of the Halo games, I'm sure it did. At least some of them that were made by Bungie. But yeah, it's the same thing. Like, yeah, it's a different world, different story, but it's made by people who have a reputation in that field, in that genre, to make things that are really good. But yeah. Anyway, I just got massive heartburn. Like, really bad heartburn just hit me.
Hey,
I'm probably done.
Pepto-Bismol.
All right, next item on the list. Journey is going to be getting a PS4 release this summer. It's going to come both digitally and physically, which is very cool. So, has anyone played Journey in here? Just a small town girl. Not that Journey.
I was about to say something really inappropriate. I'll say it. I was made to a Journey song.
I never played this game, and a lot of people talk about how Journey is the pinnacle experience of the PlayStation 3, maybe second behind The Last of Us. And I kind of spoiled it for myself because I watched a playthrough of it, but I was also in a coffee shop working on stuff, so I didn't get the full effect of it. But they say as far as like an emotional experience, that Journey is where it's at. And so I always regretted not playing it on PS3, and I always had a feeling it would come to PS4. So I will definitely be purchasing this. And the fact that it's coming out physically is really cool to me. A lot of times these kind of smaller games, I think it takes about 90 minutes to 2 hours to complete this game. These games only get digital releases. So the fact that it's getting a physical release for PS4 is really cool to me. Any of you guys interested in playing this?
I might check it out. It's not on my top list right now.
I mean, I was never big on it. I didn't think it was going to be that great of a game when it came out for PS3. I wasn't. It never interested me that much. So I don't know how. I don't know how much different it would be now. I actually don't know a ton about Journey. So.
All right. Next item on the list.
Yeah.
That's all right. I'm excited about it. So
Yeah, that's okay.
That's all that matters.
Right.
I'm just kidding. Next item on the list. Deus Ex Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, is going to be able to be 100% ghosted. So you will be able to complete the game entirely in stealth. So this is very cool to me. This is according to Jeff Acho on or Achu, like a sneeze. Bless you, Jeff.
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Oh, it is actually, that is not his name. It is Jean-Francois Dugas. I think that's how you say it.
Prince Francois.
So someone asked him, will Mankind Divided be ghostable? And he says, as always, and even on the boss side. So you'll be able to ghost your boss fights. I've never played Deus Ex, but I know that you especially kind of enjoy stealth games. You're a big Metal Gear fan.
Yeah. It's actually on, the last game is on your PlayStation Now. So if you ever want to check that out.
Yeah, I should check that out. Have you guys ever completed a game 100% stealth or done as much as you could in stealth?
No, I've tried.
I've done a lot in stealth.
I tried to do Metal Gear Solid 2 all the way through, and I got about 20 minutes into it. And all of a sudden, that little exclamation point popped up over one of the guys on the head, tanker's head.
You played, were you about to say something?
I'm the guy that just literally wants to kill everything. Like I hunt down every last person if I'm not playing with somebody who's trying to get through the game.
I will stay in stealth, but kind of get into little individual fights sometimes, or like I'll be in stealth and instead of trying to sneak around someone, I'll waste a ton of ammo killing them, and then sneaking until I see the next guy.
I'm the kind of guy who likes to sneak around and try to be as sneaky as possible and one-on-one everybody, because I don't want to get like past a certain point and then there's just Joe Schmo back here behind the crate that sees me. So I just want to make sure. And I'm always nervous, like with the Hitman games, I would kill everyone. I wouldn't sneak past anybody because I was always afraid I'd have to come back through that way, and then they'd be there and I'd get caught. And so I just killed as many people as I could. Yeah.
One of the things I'm hoping for with this game is that, well, I mean, I'm okay with the game being able to be 100% stealth. It's not my preferred mode of playing, but don't make it like an achievement to say you have to complete it 100% stealth, because now I'm kind of interested in getting trophies. I think it's kind of fun, and
I need to come around.
That would just be something that I wouldn't be really into. I feel like really the only way you could beat the hardened mode on The Last of Us is to go almost 100% stealth, because the supplies are so limited. One of the things I hate about stealth games, though, is like when you're hiding behind a corner waiting for a guy to come around to take him out, and he's like not quite within your range when you go to attack, and your stealth gets blown and the alarm gets sounded. And also, I'm not a big fan of the whole like, all right, alarm's going off. People are going to search for 30 seconds now that they found their 2 men dead. And then after 30 seconds, they're like, all right, well, giving it up. I'm just going to go back to our posts. So stealth games have never really appealed to me. Just in both, I don't like playing that way, and in the suspension of reality of just like, all right, we don't really care that these 2 guys died. We're going to just go back to doing our business.
Leave the bodies there. Go back to your post. We'll have the janitor collect them later. Take them out back and burn them.
I'd be much better with that if some janitor came through with like a push broom, just pushing the bodies out of the way.
They just
Let the bodies hit the floor.
I need a job. It's Christmas.
Whoa, what?
He wants to buy these shoes for his mama, please.
The janitor needs bodies to hit the floor because he needs a job. Because his kids need new shoes for Christmas.
They're going to get another Christmas with their mom, probably.
Get out of here.
All right, next item on the list. Destiny's newest DLC is not going to include a raid.
That's really interesting.
It is very interesting.
Hmm?
Why is it interesting to you, Seth?
Because I've come to expect raids now, even though I can't play them because I never have enough friends to play with.
Yeah.
I'm really interested, though. This is going to be including like another kind of tower setup in the what's the place called? The pink place in Destiny. The purple place.
The purple.
Where the Awoken are from.
Oh,
The
the
Reef.
Rift.
The Reef.
Oh.
The Reef.
The
yes.
Reef. Yeah, it's going to have like another hub there for players to go and buy things, get armor and stuff like that. I'm really interested to kind of open up the universe a little bit more.
Yeah, one of the... Well, here's the first thing that's interesting about it not having a raid, is that it was advertised that it was going to have a raid.
This is true.
And they didn't come through on that. And
When have they ever not come through on something?
that's true, but this has to be the most blatant, like,
Yeah,
Because they sold season passes for this even before the game came out, and it was included in the season pass. And they said each of the new expansion packs are going to add a raid to it. And I haven't played a raid personally, but I'm also not really hardcore into Destiny. But I also know that you can't be hardcore into Destiny unless you play raids.
Mm-hmm.
And because you get raid set armor that allows you to get to a light level that you can't obtain through any other means. And raids are the things that hardcore players of that game want to be a part of. And so essentially what happened in this was Bungie looked at the numbers and said only X% of players are even starting the raid, let alone completing the raid. And so we are not going to put the time, energy, and effort into including a raid because only X% of players are going to play it. Here's the problem in that thinking. They've said multiple times that they want this game to be kind of a 10-year thing. And in order for a game to be a 10-year game and have those long legs that are going to carry it through, it's a marathon, not a sprint, you have to cater to the hardcore fans of this game, because the casual gamers who pick up this game every couple of weeks aren't going to be playing when Halo 5 comes out, aren't going to be playing when some Call of Duty game comes out that catches their fancy, or Titanfall 2 comes out. Those casual gamers are going to move on. Your hardcore gamers are going to stick around and be the ones carrying you those 10 years. So it's not so much about the percentage of players, but what kind of players is that percentage of players? Is the 9% of people that are playing these raids the people who are achieving the highest light levels and pouring the most amount of time into your game? You can easily track that. Like, they're constantly on a server. And so basically what Bungie has said is like, we don't care about our hardcore gamers for this, and we're going to cater more to the casual gamers who are just going to move on when something else catches their attention. That doesn't seem fair to me, and it seems like just yet another decision where Bungie has gotten it wrong.
Missed the mark.
And I think this is another way of them talking out both sides of their mouths, because with the first raid, they decided that players were they wanted it. They wanted very few players to be able to make it through the raid. Remember, they said that outright.
Mm-hmm.
There are too many people making it through this raid, so we're going to make it harder so that less people can complete it, so that it is an actual achievement. And now that less people are able to complete the raid, they're like, oh, well, I guess people just don't want... You did this!
Yeah.
And now you're going to punish the people that made it because you decided that people shouldn't be able to make it.
I don't know. It's one of those kind of, like, I don't play Destiny every day like I did the first couple months it came out. I still love it, but when I get on, I really hated, as a guy that kind of plays by myself most of the time, sort of lone wolf hunter, having a game that's so reliant on something that's so social. A lot of people that I know that weren't as anxious for the game to come out ended up playing it for a week or two, and because it was so reliant on the raid and playing with at least 6 people, he couldn't do anything with it. You can't advance. So I'm anxious to see if I can kind of get a little more out of the experience once this expansion comes out. I'm optimistic still.
I would love to be able to do the raid.
Yeah, I think the way that you get people interested in doing the raid is making the raid more accessible. And maybe you don't get the same kind of rewards as you would if you played the hardcore raid, but you would spark interest in that raid platform if it didn't require that you have 6 people in order to be able to complete it. And the fact that you have to be up to a certain level. Like, if they did a weekend where this was an idea from Podcast Unlocked, where if they had a weekend where they kind of just bumped everybody up to that level and allowed them to try it, or they added an easy mode to it where, hey, you can be a level 23 and attempt the raid, or if they made a raid in some way where it's like more like a strike and you play it with 3 people, and if you complete it either in this amount of time or you accomplish these 4 or 5 achievements within it, like you get certain rewards within it, add stuff that will kind of usher people into the door of the raid, because for a lot of people, myself included, it almost seems unattainable because there aren't 6 of us who play it.
Right.
And in fact, if you remember that first raid, there were a couple of guys who 2-manned that raid. And Bungie was like, "Oh, well, that shouldn't be able to happen," and they literally made it impossible to beat the final boss with 2 guys. So
it's like sort of like you traded in Destiny, Larry, and then you got it back because someone bought it for you. They really wanted to play with you, and within about a couple, 3 weeks, maybe I want to say, you're almost level 32 now, right?
Just cause of raid set armor.
Right. And I have been playing since September 9th when it came out, and haven't done a raid, and I am just shy of level 31.
And it's disheartening. I mean, that's
Just shy of it's. I've put so many hours into that game, and then this bozo comes along. I don't mean that.
Yeah, no,
I don't mean
no,
that.
for real. Like, I couldn't even do enough damage to help in the raid. Some guys ran me through the raid and knocked me up to level 31.
Right.
I would love to see how many people have finished the raid because they have been ushered through it by somebody with more experience. Because that's a huge thing on like the Destiny subreddit. Is I'm looking for somebody to run through the raid with me, and then you got some level 32s running a level 28 guy through a raid just to bump him up a level, and it's like that's not the experience that Bungie wants you to have. But Bungie has almost made it impossible to have the experience they want you to have because it is such an exclusive thing. They took so much pride in putting the people on a pedestal that were the first people to complete the raid. And it took them, like 18 hours to complete it or something like that? And then they put the people on a pedestal who were the first to put it in a hard mode. And then they look at it and they're like, well, not enough people are doing it. Let's scrap it. And it's like, you piggybacked off the fact that this was not for everybody. It's just yet another, like, Bungie has been so disappointing in the last year. If I had to pick a developer who's let me down the most, it would be Bungie.
It's just so sad because they have such gold in what they've done before, but they just have made all the wrong decisions, I feel like.
Well, we talked about this on 3 Topic Thursday with Luke and Diz, or Diz and Luke, or however it is on youtube.com/player3podcast, about how Destiny has a backstory. It wasn't really told well in the game, but the backstory of it, as far as like the story of the Traveler and the darkness and the mystery behind how those two things interplay, like they had the ability to do something great with it. Like they have this foundation that it's like games would kill to have this many people interested in it this early on, and then you just toss that away. Didn't care about it.
The group of guys that actually purchased this game for me so I'd play it again. I don't play it a lot because I was interested in it for the Crucible. But that's what they do almost every time they get on is run one of the raids. So
That's all I do when I get on is run the Crucible, and I just love it. Like the gameplay, the actual gameplay of Destiny, I love. I think it's almost unmatched.
Why would I do that?
We'll buy you a copy of Destiny.
I don't understand the appeal at all. But yeah, I'm curious to see how they're going to react to this. And it said they're adding a different kind of mode instead of a raid. But I didn't fully understand what that was.
Yeah, they probably don't either.
Yeah, you said, never mind. I'm mixed up.
Wow. Okay. So anyway, so that's all we have to say about Destiny.
That's all we got to say about that.
Next item on the list, not so much the news of this, but just anyway, I'm just going to read it. Tetsuya Nomura, I have no idea. I'm terrible with these names, is the director of Kingdom Hearts 3, offered an update about the progress, and this was the update. Development is going smoothly, working on a smartphone-specific announcement. We've talked about this some, but we haven't really talked about it at length. Just the sheer asinineness, is that a word?
Asininity?
Asininity.
I don't know.
Acidity. Is that the word?
Sure.
Of hype trains and just the injection of your name out there to try to keep the conversation going in marketing. Like Kingdom Hearts 3 was a game that was shown at E3 2 years ago. Diz would be able to tell me if he could hear us, but
you said it was 2 before.
I think it was 2. I think it was 2 years ago, and it was one of those like, oh crap, we started showing this and we're not ready to do it, and It's interesting to me that these stories from IGN that are 6-word quotes from a director that, hey, we're still working on this thing. Like, of course you're still working on it. But that this becomes front page news in the gaming industry. And I don't really have a question behind this. It's much more of just a rant of just show your game when you kind of have a clear framework of when you want it to come out, especially a game like Kingdom Hearts that has a following behind it. And was it 2 years ago? 2013. It was 2013. And this is a game that probably isn't going to hit until 2017. You know? You showed this game 4 years.
30.
And so now you feel the necessity to be like, still working on this game. Like, where else is that acceptable?
in my workplace, I find that when I tell someone I'm working on something and take an extremely long amount of time to do it, they're genuinely really pleased.
Yeah, man. I'll get you that budget for 2015 in 2017. Thank you. So yeah, just stop announcing games before they're ready to be announced, and that's all I have to say about that.
That's all I'm gonna say about that.
So that was the news with the podcast, guys. All right, now we move on to we got reviews for you.
You don't let me do the out jingle.
We don't do an out jingle for that, do we?
Yeah, do
Oh,
the out jingle
I'm sorry,
for
go
everything.
for it.
It's okay. No, it's all right. We're already moved on.
Passed.
All right, we got 2 reviews for you. First review, Seth, baby, talk to me.
Child.
Mortal Kombat X. I gotta say, I love it. It stays true to traditional Mortal Kombat gameplay, combat gameplay, but it takes just the right amount from old entries in the franchise and from things like Injustice that NetherRealm's worked on in the past, but it also adds so much more. I think this is probably the most replayable game of the franchise to date. Between the online play, between the living towers and the traditional towers, and the crypt where you can get extra skins and artwork and fatalities and brutalities. And what else am I trying to say? And each character has 3 different fighting styles that they can use, and that varies their armor, it varies your weaponry and your moves that you can do. I can see myself spending so much more time on this game than any other Mortal Kombat so far, just by its own scope alone. And even the story, I've been playing for a few hours and I'm halfway through. It's got a great little story to it. It's just I don't want to go on at length about it too much. If you guys have any questions, let me know. But I found myself usually getting really tired of these games after a couple of weeks of playing, and so far I don't see that in sight.
Nice.
That was going to be my question to you, was the replay value that you saw in it, because I'm one of those guys. That game is a lot of fun to me when we're all sitting around in a room and we're either playing against each other or we're playing online, watching ourselves get our tails kicked. So you would say that what adds the replay value?
I usually get tired, or not just tired, but just straight out bored by these games because you get one character. And usually within a week or 2, you've got his moves down. You've got his combos figured out. You've got his fatalities, basically booked. The fact that really each character is 3 characters in and of itself in this game. Because you've got, say we were talking about earlier, Sub-Zero. You can be a cryomancer where you can, form your ice swords and things like that. And, you're sort of a more aggressive combat style. And then you've got sort of a more defensive one where you can create like an ice shield, and you have certain moves that revolve around that functionality. And so you sort of start off with defense, and while you've got someone frozen that touches your ice shield for more than a second, that's when you bring your offense. They're just each style. First it makes your character look different, then it makes your character play different, and it adds a lot more time to figure out kind of the subtle nuances of your character.
So the style isn't something you can shift in fight. It has to be decided beforehand?
As far as I've seen so far, yeah.
Okay.
Have you tried online yet?
Not yet. I'm scared.
You should be.
I'm really scared.
But
I did.
understand-
I invited a friend over. Kyle came over and played with me Wednesday.
Shout out to Kyle.
Shout out to Kyle.
Oh.
We were watching the Cubs game and playing this at the same time. And that was probably the most fun I've had with it so far, is because it's that old-fashioned just getting on the couch together and just beating crap out of each other and trying out different fatalities and things like that. One new functionality I'm really excited about in this game is the easy fatalities. And you can buy, I think, if you actually want to spend real world money, you can buy these coins, or you can just find them in the crypt, or you can unlock them by playing well and going through the story, yada, yada, yada. But instead of going through a long, grueling process of putting in a bunch of buttons the right way while your, finish him comes up, you can just hold down the trigger if you have one of these coins and press a certain button, and each button, like, right trigger and Y will trigger one fatality, right trigger and X will change another. And it just makes it that much easier, and it's that much more fun to just kind of quickly go in and out of a match and get your fatality done.
What is your favorite fatality so far?
Oh, man, there are a lot of them.
I saw one that I want to say is my favorite.
Or are you going to say Cassie Cage?
No.
Oh. The selfie.
Cassie Cage has I don't think this is a fatality, but her X-ray move involves sort of a nut punch like her dad. But that's the name of the move.
Is this
But,
a new character?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
Johnny Cage's and Sonya Blade's daughter.
Oh,
Is she
yeah.
like? Oh no, is Johnny Cage the one that's like whoopsies? No, that's Liu
just,
Kang.
No, that's just a guy.
That's a developer who
Yeah.
comes in the bottom. The guy-
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Johnny
But,
Cage is the actor.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, I know
but
who
she
Johnny
kind of
Cage- yeah.
drops down and does a nut punch, and like it's sort of the X-rays from the last game where it shows like the skull and muscles and stuff like that crack and shred. But you got to do the nut punch, and it's got two little like meat testicles that you punch up into
right.
the body, and
Gross.
it is
Disgusting.
gross. But there are a lot of these fatalities are gruesome. Like there's a lot of brain involved. There's a lot of like you can. I think it's with Devora, who's another new character. She has these little spider arms that come out from her back, and
shoots through the heart and then shoots through the
she like
brain.
shoots the heart through someone's body. She shoots his brain through. There's one with Jax where you push someone's arms into their body, so they just have like little hands sticking out like T-Rex arms, and
The
then
one-
you light a cigar and you take and crack their jaw open. And then, so you've got like their brain hanging out on the top end. You got your tongue right there with their jaw, and you then put your cigar out on their tongue.
The one I saw that was really cool was I can't think of what his name. I think it starts with an E. He's like from he's from the other world. I
Is
can't.
it Ermac?
Yeah, it's Ermac.
Like kind of normal looking dude.
Yeah, he's got a sword though. Is it Ermac with a sword? Does he have a
Yeah,
sword?
he has a sword.
I think he has a sword.
Think.
Anyways, well, he makes a sword like out of spiritual stuff. His fatality, like he'll bring that sword up, and he'll mind control you into it.
Oh
and,
no,
like,
that's Quan Chi, I think.
Quan Chi. Okay, yeah, he'll bring you into it, and then he runs it up your body, so it like pulls from your mouth.
He like makes
down
you
through your
walk. He
body.
makes you walk face first into the sword.
Yeah, in
then-
your mouth, and it goes all the way, and then it then flips you up, and then pulls you straight down, and it cuts you completely in half. It's crazy.
There are a lot, and each character has multiple fatalities that you have to unlock through the crypt or whatever. It's so much fun, and if we have time tonight, I'm probably going to bring it back over, and we can try it out a little bit. If not, next Monday.
I don't play Mortal Kombat very often, but they don't often add many new characters, do they? in games?
Not many. I mean, the one thing about this game is you can, if you didn't get the pre-order bonus for Goro, you can buy him. He's like $5. I don't know if that's worth it. It depends on if you want to play.
He was all like, I'll probably just end up buying him. We were like, Seth.
But then again,
Seth, we know
it's
you.
$5. But at the same time, and then it seems a little pricey. You can get the expansion pack, the DLC. It's gonna be like 4 new characters. Jason and Predator are 2 of them.
Well, not guest characters, but it seems like
New characters.
new within that
right,
universe
right. Yeah,
characters.
this is a first, I think, really for the franchise, adding this many new characters at once, because you came from Mortal Kombat 9, which was kind of like a magnum opus of the game so far, where you have almost all of them, if not all. Well, I don't think Goro was in 9 as a playable character.
Was that Mortal Kombat? Was that the last one?
The last Mortal Kombat. But there were a ton of characters from all of the original games. And this one, you only have a few of like the main go-tos, like Scorpion and Sub-Zero, Johnny Cage, Raiden, etc. But there are a ton. Like you've got a lot of the children, which the story revolves mostly around the children of like Liu Kang. I think it's Liu Kang. What's the guy with the
Kung
hat
Lao.
that you throw? Kung Lao, Johnny Cage, and Sonya Blade. And then you've got some of the bad guys returning, and a lot of the good guys returning. But you've got those kids alone, plus some of the new Outworld characters, and they're actually really great.
Okay.
Devora looks. I've seen Devora the most of everybody. I feel like.
I like playing as Aaron Black. He's sort of a gunslinger type character, and his X-ray move is like he takes his 6-shooter and loads it and shoots you. And like depending on what character you're fighting, it has a name carved in the bullet. Like so, if you're fighting Sub-Zero, he'll shoot this gun. And sort of like that Agent Locke thing from Halo, he's got the Sub-Zero carved into the bullet, and he manipulates it through your body, so it like starts in your hip and goes through, bam, bam, and the muscles tearing the whole time. It's great.
Sounds unpleasant.
Yeah, it sounds very unpleasant. Are there friendships?
What do you mean?
There's camaraderie.
Back in the day when instead of doing a fatality, you could do a friendship and give them a gift or something like that?
I don't know. I haven't checked that out yet. I've mainly been trying to do fatalities, trying to figure out how to do brutalities. They're a little different this time, where you have to. Each brutality has its list of things that you have to do in order to make it accessible at the end, and I haven't really cracked that code yet. But they've added factions in this game, kind of going along with online play. Almost everyone joins Sub-Zero's faction. You've got like 5 different ones you can choose from. Like his, it's the name of his clan, Lin Kuei, I think, or something like that.
Sounds right.
And you know, you can play by yourself in this like story mode or something, and if you know, depending on what you do, like they'll have clan missions for the day, like get 5 uppercuts in a match or something, and those kind of help you level up in the clan. They help you level up as a individual, and the more you level up, the more kind of coins you get for the crypt to unlock things. It's this really smooth and really integrated experience. I'm digging it real well so far.
So there's multiple factions?
Yeah, there are 5.
Are they all with the ninja people?
No, like some are like people like Kano,
Okay.
like assassins. Some are like Lin Kuei's the only ninja one really. They've got like a Raiden cult and like the special forces that Sonya Blade and Jax and all them were a part of.
Review in a word.
I kind of want to use the A word, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to say brutal.
Brutal.
It's brutal. For all intents and purposes.
In a good way, though, right?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
definitely. It's Mortal Kombat is that game that you go to just again beat the crap out of someone, and you probably one of these fatalities will involve some crap. I'm sure. I haven't seen it yet, but
Gosh, what if you made them poop in their own mouth?
it's just nasty.
And they died like really like it was a
I feel
long
like-
drawn out death. Like they died from what's the thing you get from having fecal matter in your
E.
system?
coli.
Pink eye.
E. coli or sepsis. They die from sepsis. They get a little poop in their wound. You cut them on the arm and you poop in it.
Mm.
They die from sepsis.
I feel like if there's any game Ben would work on, it would be Mortal Kombat. Coming up with fatalities.
Bruh.
Oh man. All right. The Fez 115 says that ain't right. All right, Larry. It's an older game. It's been out for a while, but you're the first one of us to get a chance to play it. I have it downloaded.
Oh, I played it.
Started. Oh, you played it too. Awesome.
Yeah.
Child of Light.
Child of Light. Talk about it, you two.
Free this month. You should go get it. But
on Xbox One.
but it's sort of a retelling of Aurora. What is that? Sleeping Beauty.
Yes.
Yeah. So your king dad marries an evil stepmother, and she puts you in this curse. But while you're asleep, you're not just laying there doing nothing. You're like in this other world. Your spirit's in this other world called Lemuria, and darkness has descended on it, and you're trying to bring the light back. From what I gather, I think that's right. It has a really interesting art style. I really enjoy the art style. It's reminiscent of the Prince of Persia game that was with the other prince. So it's kind of like a living painting in a way. It's not quite as detailed as the Prince of Persia game, but it's got that really beautiful art style to it. And it is a sort of like a turn-based RPG, which I don't have a lot of experience in. So I may be wrong that this is as innovative as it felt to me, but
It felt really good.
instead of going just straight turns, there's like a bar at the bottom that it's like a timed bar, and you're all progressing at different rates depending on how quick your character is. And once you get to the red at the end, that's when you can initiate your attack. And different attacks or different actions take different amounts of time to complete. If you are struck while you're trying to do your action, you get dropped back. Or if you strike your enemy while they're trying to do their action, they get dropped back on the bar a certain amount. And you can also use certain techniques, and you can use your Firefly Pal to like blind your opponents and slow them down on that timeline. So it's turn-based, but you can manipulate
The turns.
The turns.
Yeah.
And that was really interesting to me. I really enjoy that aspect of it. It brings a different level of strategy to a genre that's often feels kind of more locked in to me. It brought some freedom that I think was needed. Yeah. You have anything you want to add as far as what the game is?
I think within the battle system, I just thought something that was kind of funny. Because I haven't gotten that far. I'm only like, I think I got to the point where. Are you the point where you can fly yet?
Yeah.
Okay, I got to that point and I found my first party member, so that's as far as I got. But within the battle system, you can battle with a party member. I don't know if it's more than just one. but they're
I haven't gotten any yet, but I believe that you will.
okay.
Just based off of achievements I read.
Close.
Okay.
Close it.
It's gonna do it anyway. So.
Okay,
Uh-oh.
14 minutes. But within that, like it's a bunch of different things you can do within with combat, and you can like you have like a block system where you can set up the guard, and you got like that kind of stuff. So if you time it right and you use your Firefly effectively, you can get an attack off and then delay the person long enough to be able to defend from their attack, and it's kind of cool. That if you get it in just in time, you're going to be able to take care of it. And with that, like your attacks have a time frame. So on the time bar, there's like a little section at the end that's got that's a time bar in and of itself, I guess you can say. And it's once you get to there, that's when it determines how long you use your attack. So let's say, for instance, like one of your magical attacks, it says it takes a long time to take effect. I can't remember the exact terminology they use, but it's like one's instant, like the guard thing is instant, and then like your magic attacks are or they say they take long. By Diz, the regular strike attacks are like medium time length. So once you get to that red part on the time frame, if you time your attack correctly, you can instantaneously block with that block thing, or it'll use up the entirety of that last little time block to use like a magic spell or an attack. I don't know if I explained that good.
And as far as the out of combat system, it's like it's a side scroller, and eventually you get to the point where you can fly, and there's a lot of freedom in movement. Whereas a lot of the turn-based RPGs that I've played are kind of like a top-down 3D thing, so it's a different approach to that. And it's really obvious when you're going to encounter an enemy usually, and so you have the choice of either sneaking around enemies or you can just take off them head on, whatever you want to do. And if you approach the enemy from behind, you get an extra round as a surprise attack kind of thing. And if they surprise you and get you from behind, then they get the extra attack. So yeah, it's a turn-based RPG, interesting, beautiful game, very beautiful. It's got a decently interesting story. It's like a fairy tale. So I'm enjoying it so far. I've had a lot of fun with it, actually.
So review in a word.
Free. It's a genre that I usually don't enjoy a whole lot because it's just so blocked and you're locked into what you're doing. But this one, it's a little different.
Ben?
Oh, I didn't know I was going to do a review in the word.
And it's also free for the month, so
yeah,
it's fitting.
Ooh.
That works, yeah. I feel like I use this word a lot. Unexpected. It was something that I didn't expect it to be as good as it was. Like I'm kind of with you. Like the turn-based stuff kind of throws me for a loop a lot of times. Like I got the PS now, and I played some Final Fantasy game they had, and it's just so boring to me to just press a button. Okay, I'm gonna attack here. Press a button. I'm gonna attack here. Like it doesn't feel good, and this feels a lot better than those regular turn-based. So unexpected, yeah.
All right. Here we go. Moving on to everyone's favorite segment, the random question of the week.
Random question of the week for the month for this week.
It doesn't make sense.
It's beautiful. That's all that matters. All right.
Not all that matters.
Here we go. This is a question from Asium. I don't think that's or Asylum. Not sure. But it says, what are you most excited for about E3? Now, keep in mind, we will be doing a special episode here in May about our E3 predictions. But what are you most excited about seeing at E3 this year? Let's do this.
I'm ready.
Oh, you're ready?
Yeah, I'm ready too. I think.
Okay, go ahead.
When is E3 real quick?
It's in June. We're going to be out of town.
Okay.
We're going to be at camp, actually. I'm really not happy
Sad.
about that.
I just have a feeling that this is the year that I will finally get some more information on Mirror's Edge. And so I'm just really excited for that. And if I don't get it, I'm going to be really sad about it.
Well, I think at this point, there's not much that EA has left to show. You know, Dragon Age is already out. They can't spend half an hour on whatever one feature they're going to add to Madden this year. And so I can see Mirror's Edge coming. All right, Seth, because I'm still thinking.
I'm kind of too full right now. I'm really excited to see some more about Halo 5. I just went back through Halo 4. I finally finished it this week again for the second time. And I really loved what 343 did with the story for that game. And I'm really excited to see where it's going to go in Halo 5. Plus the multiplayer. We've gotten a snippet of that before. I'm really excited to see some more about that. But also, back to Battlefront. I'm really excited to get my first-person shooter on in the Star Wars universe.
I'll let you go last, Ben.
Okay,
Because
sure.
I'm going to go. I'm kind of twofold in the same way. I'm really excited to see what Bethesda's got up their sleeve. The fact that they're doing their own thing, we're obviously going to see Fallout 4. I'm 99% sure we're going to see Fallout 4. I'm also 70% sure we're going to see probably a Skyrim remaster.
Skyrim Remaster?
Yeah. So, and then obviously we're going to see a lot of Elder Scrolls Online. We're going to probably see some, what's the game? Did they do, what's the game I'm trying to think of that they did?
Dishonored?
Yeah, we're going to see Dishonored.
I would like to see a remaster of that because I missed it last time around.
So I'm excited to see what Bethesda has going on. I'm also I'm just really interested in kind of the interplay of the Microsoft conference alongside the Sony conference, and to see the strategies of both. I think Sony's last year was bad, and I want to see what they have up their sleeve for this year to hopefully make it better. Ben?
I'm also Bethesda was going to be mine, but I've got another one. I'm also excited to see what they're going to do because I'm a big Bethesda fan. Everything they've done's been gold, so or most everything they've done's been gold. I can't really think of right now in my head of something they did that wasn't great, but I am super pumped for the announcement of the Division beta.
I don't know if we're going to have to wait till E3 for that, though.
You don't think so?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think that would be really cool to see either a beta or they're going to be like, hey guys, don't forget the Division comes out next month.
Yeah, you keep dreaming.
Dimebag 315 said Metal Gear, which makes me think also of Silent Hills. I'm curious about the fates of both of those games in light of what happened with Konami.
Yeah, I don't know who they're going to put on stage for that game, man.
Right.
Kojima's always been the front man for those games.
I mean, I would say Metal Gear, but
Metal Gear.
I'm more than excited about Metal Gear enough as it is. I don't need to see any more about that.
Yeah, I think that's almost to the point where it's going to be so close come E3.
Mm-hmm.
It'll almost be in that fasting stage like I got with Bloodborne. Was like, all right, I've seen what I want to see. I'm good. No, I want to get it. I'm going to step back from it because I don't want to see anything else.
Right.
And I think that's going to kind of be where Metal Gear fans will be. All right. Well, we're gonna wrap it up because my computer may do something crazy here in a few minutes. But we're gonna do as much of the after show as we can. But right now we're gonna go around the circle. So stick around if you're watching on Twitch because we're gonna answer your viewer questions there, and we're gonna go around the circle very quickly.
Ben!
All right, very quickly.
I'm
Where can
Nurture
we-
Hankins. What you don't need to know about that because I'm not going to tell you anything about that social media site. Who Bomb Trady? Who Bomb Trady, all one word on PSN and on Twitch, and Who Bomb Trady 3 words on Xbox Live.
I'm Seth. You can find me on Twitch at Buttzors. That's BUTTZORZ, Buttzors. You can find me on PSN at the same name, and on Xbox Live at Dongzors, DONGZORZ. I'm planning on maybe trying to stream a little more combat this week. I doubt I'll be able to bring it over tonight. If we do the rounds, we'll probably have not much time.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
But I'll try to stream some maybe tonight, and we can get a little action going on.
All right.
I am on Twitter and Twitch at Lair Hunts Zombies. LARHUNTS Zombies.
All right, and I am Luke. You can find me on PSN at Lodger Blackman, and you can find me on Xbox Live at Download a Hoagie. We are the Player 3 Podcast. Find us on Twitter at Player 3 Podcast. Follow us. Subscribe on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher. Leave a review. We'll read it out on the podcast. YouTube.com/Player 3 Podcast. And always check out our website, Player3Podcast.com. Going to give you guys an extra week on Protagonist Madness because I messed something up. So go get your votes in at the Final Four for Protagonist Madness, Player3Podcast.com. We are the Player 3 Podcast.
Player 3 Podcast! I beat you to it, cowboy.
Stole it.
P3P.
Player 3
Sigh.
podcast.
Okay. All right, guys. Go ahead and welcome them.
Hello and welcome to the Player 3 Podcast After Party Lounge, where we will be restarting in 4 minutes and 51 seconds.
Computer
All right,
will
so
force
we've
us
got
out in less than 5 minutes.
48.
So we are going to be out in
47,
5 minutes. So I'm going to ask you guys.
45,
All right,
44.
Okay. I'm going to ask a question here. This was from Dimebag315. Do you guys think with exclusive? I'm just going to read it how I wrote it. Do you guys think with exclusively titles that games get lucked out on playing great games or DLC, like Inquisition gets DLC on Xbox but none for PS4? All right.
Exclusivity?
I think this is what the question is asking. That do you think that gamers get screwed out of content for stuff for exclusivity?
Yes.
Obviously, that is the point of exclusivity,
Yes.
to screw you out of it.
And I'm a big fan of some exclusivity because I believe in, I really love owning both systems. That being said, I think if the same game comes out for two systems, but you're only gonna expand on one of them, I don't like that. I like each system being able to do something on its own, like PlayStation doing the order, individual IPs. If I buy a game on the Xbox and I don't do like enough research, and then I get screwed because the DLC only comes on PlayStation. Come on.
What's up, Hayden Kings? Hit that follow button.
And I agree. I like title exclusivity, but not exclusivity of DLC or add-on content. That just ticks me off.
I think what we generally see is a timed exclusivity for DLC. I don't know if that's how it was with Dragon Age Inquisition. I know there was some non-timed exclusivity stuff for Destiny that came along as far as
Some, but
not a lot.
it's pretty limited.
And maybe it was still timed, and it was just like super timed. Thanks for that follow, Hayden Kings. We also got follows from several other people. I'm going to read that out while you guys.
I really hate exclusivity to retailers, like retail exclusivity. So, like, I have to buy my game at Walmart if I want a certain.
Right, like for pre-order DLC. And
Yeah,
stuff like
I think that's really dumb. Like, I understand but I don't know. I just don't want to miss out. If I can get it later, I don't mind time DLC for retail exclusivity. But if it's completely exclusive to retail stores, I don't like that.
Yeah, I never got the unicorn helmet in Halo 4 because of that, and it made me real mad.
Mm-hmm.
Was that how you got that?
Yeah, you had to buy. I don't remember who you had to buy it from, but only
Gotcha.
one vendor gave you the unicorn helmet.
All right. Here's a little follower corner here. Thanks for the follow, Nolaz010, Young Mercy 1234, Emily _78, who I think got the band hammer dropped on her because she was trying to sexualize a man.
She was trying to just come after No Mercy. Ironically, she was mercilessly pursuing No Mercy.
Versile on Twitch, Dimebag315, happy 420 day to you. And Asylum, or Asylum. I'm not sure how to say it.
Axiom.
Axiom.
We got a minute and 40 seconds.
We have a
Should I
minute
stop
and
it
40
before it goes
seconds.
off,
We're
or is
sorry
it
that
gonna-
this wasn't it because we're sorry that this was it. We normally hang out longer, but
Should I stop it before it restarts?
just like a PC. Well, I mean,
It
it's
won't
gonna
stop.
restart
okay.
regardless. You can't. There's no
You can
stop
close
it.
No, I'm saying stop the stream. Will it mess up anything with the stream?
Oh, it might mess up
Yeah,
some.
yeah, we're gonna
All
be out. Thank you guys
Sorry,
for tuning
guys.
in.
Play it 3 And Seth's number
Is 276.
634 28.
So we
Stop streaming as well.
right above the button.